His grandkids in Liberia will even try to make an import. Yeah. Publicly on the radio.
We are live now.
Okay, so it's already 2 minutes after 1 o'clock, and I hope Mr. Gibson Jeru is set now, because according to official time, it's already after 1 o'clock. Hopefully, Mr. Jeru, are you set?
I'm set. The cheerleader is here, and I was trying to wait for one more commissioner. Because once the cheerleader is here, then we can continue. The co-chair is coming very soon, and the candidate research commissioner is coming a little bit, but they want us to start. I will get a word from the chair and see what. Yep, you all right like that. You don't. I know you don't have a lot of lightning, but if you can leave it, just lay on something and leave it like that so it can shake.
Oh yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, just lay against something.
Yeah, let me get something closer to it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Studio, I want you to play music and then we'll get back to you right now.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, election Dana war.
Speedy the rubber at the top of the town. Tom B. Let's go. Let us all unite.
Is there anybody listening to me? Hello.
And I'm checking. Two of us continue.
We say hello.
You won't get to the.
I get to all of them. Senator, you can go ahead. That's
And they are at where?
Here you are with no little.
Say no to violence. And I think it's what we have. Let us all unite. If you know that you for you, Liberty Party, let's come together and be united.
We are ready when you're ready.
Be united. We did the rubber at the top of the town. One people, one nation, no time for hatred. Yeah.
All right, okay. So quickly, let's now cross over to Gibson Jeru, 106 Groove FM. Welcome, Mr. Jeru. How are you?
Well, thank you very much. And we are about to start our hearing. This hearing is about the protest that was filed by one of the prominent Granadian. In fact, I'm told he's a board member as well, but he has filed 9 protests against individuals who are running to become leaders in the Granadian Association in America. 2 of them are presidential candidates. 2 of them are vice presidential candidates, and the rest of them are treasurer candidate for treasury. So we held the first hearing last night, and it was by audio. We didn't do video last night. Today we are doing video because it's a presidential candidate. We want Granadians everywhere to participate in this. So we are doing it live, and we will do another close the public audio hearing with three other candidates in a little while after we are done with Honorable Octavious Gilman. And today, the accuser is Mr. Honorable Othello Brown. He believes that Mr. Gilman does not meet the constitutional requirement to contest for the presidency, and he will be presenting his case this evening. But Mr. Gilman here believes that otherwise. He believes that he is qualified, he is within the constitutional bounds. He will also have the time to give his opening statement and will be opportune for both of them to question each other. And after they question each other, we will have the commission to question the aspirant and the complainant, the protester. So we will ask questions on both sides. So today we have with us the chair lady of the Independent Election Commission of Grand Jury Association, Madam Amelia Polodi Bear. I took my time to do that Polodi because she can take her time to do that. So I don't want to violate anything here. So her name is Amelia Polodi Bear. She is here. Madam Bear, you want to say something before I move on?
Go ahead yet. After
Okay.
you don't, then I can just come in.
Okay, so Madam Chair is going to come in a little bit. So we want to introduce Mr. Othello Brown. Mr. Brown, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hello to my fellow Grenadians and hello to people in Radio Land. My name is Othello Brown, and I'm the progenitor of the protest 5 against 9 Grenadians within our organization. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Othello Brown. We'll go to Mr. Octavious Gilman. You want to introduce yourself, sir?
Thank you very much, Honorable Guest Jared. Thank you very much, Madam Mia Portibe,
Yep.
the chairman. For the sake of this interview today, I take that very serious. So I will be referring to you guys at your honor. If you wouldn't mind, for those of my Grenadians and brothers and sister fathers among in Radio Land and in the diaspora from where you find yourself. You might have seen me, but don't even know me. Or otherwise. My name is Octavious Gilman. I'm the grandson, Blee, or you, William Lee from Grand Judah County. I reside in the United States, to be Pacific, Detroit, Michigan. I'm blessed with 5 beautiful children and a beautiful wife for 12 years. We're married for 12 years. I'm 38 years old. I'm a private real estate investor for 15 years and self-employed. I'm the owner of Octavious Loan Agency that loan money to Liberian in the diaspora and back home for 4 years. I'm the owner of OBG Real Estate Developer, one of the fastest growing companies in Liberia, as we speak. I'm also the owner or the second largest producer of charcoal in Liberia, as we speak. And I'm vying for this position, not because I want it, but because of my experience.
Okay,
this
we'll come back to you for your opening statement. That was a very beautiful, extensive introduction. We'll come back to you for your opening statement, but we want to do something else before we come back to you, Madam Bear. Okay, after we do all the talking, the initial talking, we have Mr. Kroma in the backstage since he's not part of the commission, so we can't confuse the people who are watching. But if Mr.
Yeah.
Kruma, if you are in the backstage and they can't hear us, just let me know, and then we can bring you upstage, and you can just be with us, okay? So let's go to Madame Bear. Madame Bear, you want to say something?
Well, I want to tell our fellow Grenadians all over the entire world, good evening to all of you. This has not actually happened before in the past when Grenadians been having their elections, but we thought it wise during my administration, being the election commissioner, that these things be brought forward on top shows so Grenadians all over the world will know people that will represent them in the diaspora. So for tonight, we want to welcome the complainant, Mr. Othello Brown, and the accuser, Mr. Octavious Gilman. Feel free, relax, and ask what and explain whatever you have been accused about, and then ask question whatever you want to understand. This is an opportunity for you from what you may ask. Maybe the reason for which you have been accused might be clarified to the outsider there. So let us take our own time. Let us approach our friend with all of the pride and dignity, handling or treating the person with Mr. or honorable the way the person needs it. Again, thank you. We remain patient and listen to you. Questions will come from our end and talk to us bit by bit that the both of us will be able to put Grand GD first. It is our dream. The common denominator here is just Grand GD. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we will have Mr. Kruma backstage. Mr. Kruma, just show your finger if you can hear me, and if it is live in Grand Jeda County. Thank you very much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to enter our hearing. Here are the ground rules for the hearing. First of all, my name is Gibson Giroux. I'm a member of the Grand Jeda Independent Election Commission, but on the commission, I'm the chair for litigation. Okay, so I'm responsible for these hearings, making sure that everybody is informed, making sure that the schedules are out, making sure. And today we are going to be recording. This is already recorded anyway because it's live everywhere. Is people are watching and people in Grand Jeda are listening today. We might at the end of the day during the question and answer, we might take one or two questions from Grand Jeda because these are the people we are working for, and they will ask one or two questions just to clarify something. All questions today from the commission are intended to get more information about the protest process. Without further ado, is there anything, Mr. Brown, you want to say before we start? No, just anything that has nothing to do with
Yeah, we can start and I can do my opening something and then we go. I'm fine.
Mr. Gilmore, anything that has nothing to do with the testimony you want to say before we start?
Yes, my people are not getting the show. They are calling, saying they are not seeing it. If you can just share it with me in my inbox, I will share it with them, please.
I will definitely share with you in a little bit. Okay, thank you very much. I will share with you. I think I did, but I will do that again. So we will ask, there are two sides here today, the accuser and the accused. Normally, the accuser will make a case and the accuser will defend himself. So Mr. Brown is the accuser and he will make his case right now. Mr. Brown, you have 10 minutes to make your presentation.
Did you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, hi. Yeah, hello, we're hearing you.
Oh, okay. Okay. Once more, I'm Othello Brown. That's how the people call me all over the world. I'm a Grenadian and I have some concern. And my concern is in regards to what is enshrined within the constitution of our organization. After cleverly reading the organization constitution, it makes me to understand that rules within the organization should be adhered to. Based on this thing, when people started to shortlist their name to contest for various positions within our organization, I started to do due diligence to the constitution of our organization. In that process, I noticed from Article 4, Section 2C, and it was cardinal to me. There are a whole lot of stuff, but I just picked one that was very cardinal to me. And it reads, this candidate seeking the national president position within GAA must have an administrative position in his or her chapter. So knowing Mr. Octavious Gilman from his state, and there's no chapter within his state, automatically he must have registered with the administration with the concern of the board. So with that being said, I was curious to know his position, his prior position. I was curious to know that. So after research, there's nothing I could see that will be authenticated. So I decided, under the rules of the Independent Election Commissioner, the timetable that asks for the filing of protests against candidates that start from February 2nd to the 15th, I make use of that opportunity to express my grievances. I so submit.
Sorry. Thank you very
Mr.
much.
Prasad?
Thank you very much. You still have 6 more minutes for you to make your presentation, or you can reserve your question and answer.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I was talking, I'm not hearing sound, so I thought I was speaking to myself. So this process is not a witch hunting process. Yeah, I don't want people seeing it as such. Because we Grenadians, we are well-known people. When we speak, people listen. People know Grenadians to be the right people that can do the right thing. So that's why I decided that we should start the rightness from here, and then we can send it back home. With that being said, all that I did was in conformity with our constitution that is guiding us. So today, this hearing is in support of the constitution to do the right thing. So Mr. Octavious Gilman, who is a candidate, will be given an air to explain and for us to know a question, and then the truth will come up so that Grand GGAA County organization can have a right face in the right direction. I thank you.
Okay, you quoted your constitutional provision. Can you cite that again one more time for us so we can get it ready here for the audience to?
The constitution that quoted was Article 4. With the title qualification of officer. So go to Article 4.
Okay.
Section 2C.
Article 4 is organizational.
Section 2C.
I mean, RV is
Article 4.
Article 4 is organizational.
VVR.
Huh?
No, let's wait on. VR. Article VR.
Thank you very much. That's what I thought, because, and then
go for the Article VR. Article VR, Section 2C.
Okay, so we're going to put that on the screen since everyone people are watching, we're going to put that on the screen. We're going to share our screen and we'll read it.
VI is just 6.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Article 6, yes.
Article 6, starting from section 1 all the way to section 4.
Right. Okay. Okay. So we'll put that on the we'll put that there later. But let's read that. Section 2 says the national president shall have the following minimum qualifications: A, be a Grandidian with residency in one of the countries in the Americas, and be a bona fide member of the association as defined in Article 3, Section 5A for at least 5 calendar years. B, must have at least a high school education or its equivalent and must be financially up to date with his or her chapter of affiliation and the National Association. Must have held, this is the boon of contention, must have held an administrative position in his or her chapter. This is what Mr. Brown says Mr. Gilman does not have. Mr. Gilman, you have 10 minutes to make your defensive comment.
Thank you very much, Honorable Commissioner, and thanks my fellow Grandidians and home and abroad. By the way of introduction, those who just joined this important discussion, if you just joining us, my name is Octavious Gilman. I take this very, very serious because about our county and our people and the integrity of those who love our county. So I come here tonight to thank the commissioner first and also say a big thank you. And I urge all Grandidians to join me and my team to say thanks to my brother and friend, Othello Brown, who went ahead and filed this protest. Based on the brilliant Grandidians I surround myself with, when we look at this protest, Othello, Mr. Brown did us, every Grandidian, a favor. For everyone of us to look at our Constitution and say something is wrong. And Madam Commissioner, I want you to please, and your members to please be very mindful. The noise comes somewhere. The noise coming from somewhere, Mr. Jarrett.
That from Othello and I expect him to sit and listen to for him to ask later on.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Othello, wait 1 minute. 1 minute. Othello, you would need to pay attention here because you made the allegation, not any of us. So you have to be here. You have to be.
And besides that, Mr. Jeru, last night we waited a while for you, but we were able to consume that and start the process late, and then we left from there. The process late. Now tonight, you like up and down again and noise from the background. We don't want for you to ask what was being said. So can you please come, or complainer always pay attention to the detail of what will be said.
Mr. Brown, are you here? Mr. Brown, please, we don't want you to be distracted. If anybody out there that they are talking to you, we want you to pay attention here. You accuse someone, they are defending themselves, and you are not listening. So then how do you counteract the person? So you need to get off the phone and pay attention to your counterpart.
Yeah.
And we have a time frame connected to these
Are you
people.
fine now? Are you good?
Yeah.
In there for you, Mr. Gilman, because of the disturbance. Go ahead. Your time is added up.
Thank you. So, to recap, I want the commissioner and all Grenadians back home and abroad to please pay attention. The reason we are here is because of our Constitution. And like I said, I want every Grenadian to thank my brother and my friend Othello Brown. Mr. Brown, thank you. And because we are quoting from our Constitution, Madam Commissioner, it would be wrong as a leader to sit here. If we're going to sit here to protect this Constitution, to fix this Constitution, that somebody else in our Constitution that Mr. Brown is pointing out, then as a leader and someone who will be your next president, I ask that you should resolve this matter and this case immediately. Why? Because there's no word in our Constitution that we are quoting from today that say that a protest should be filed before an election. So, Madam Commissioner, I will be doing harm to my integrity and my team if I go ahead with this conversation. If only way, if Mr. Othello Brown can point to a constitution, where in our constitution that say a protest should be filed before the election, then I will go home with this conversation tonight. Two.
Okay. Let me come in. Let me come into place.
Excuse me, Mr.
Go ahead.
Excuse me, Mr.
So go ahead.
The other way is this: if we are not going with GGA Constitution, the reason why we are here, then I want to know why. Thank you.
Okay, let me just make a quick comment before I turn it back to you. Let me stop your time. The Constitution, I mean the guidelines of the Election Commission request for a time frame to file a protest. The Constitution says that the Election Commission has the right to carve its own rules. So anything that is not in the Constitution and the Election Commission deems it necessary to make the election smooth and quality, the Election Commission can enact it as a rule. So it is not violating the Constitution and it's not against any clause in the Constitution. Therefore, it is not a constitutional violation, but it's in the Election Commission guidelines that a time frame from February 2nd to February 15th today, anybody can file a protest and that protest will be heard. From today, midnight tonight, if you want to file protests, you are barred from filing protests. So today is the last day for anybody to file protests. I want to urge you to continue with your comments. I will restart your comment.
Thank you very much. It's true. You are 100% right. The Constitution that we are quoting, and I'm excited that this is what we'll be quoting tonight, that give the commissioner right. But at the same time, when this body, this commissioner wrote me, the protest was filed, they identify exactly why I'm here today. So, Mr. Jarrett.
Yes, sir.
And Madam Porter Beck, Mr. Beck.
I am with you.
There is nowhere.
I am strongly with you. Paying attention.
There is nowhere that you guys can show me that the letter that was sent to me said I will sit here for any other reason. The letter quote and said I will be here to discuss a specific one reason that I did not possess or do not have knowledge of administrative. I do not have a knowledge on administrative position or have experience on those things. So let me make it simple. It's like you gave me the parking ticket, and I went to court. I appear in court, and you told me, say, look, Mr. Gilman, you were speeding. And then, look at your record, you were driving while drunk. Looking at your record, you're carrying a firearm. We can't do that. I understand you guys are scattered, but we have to abide by this Constitution. The reason I was here, and you know that, every one of you guys know that, for one reason. So if you have a problem, if you have any other question, I ask this commissioner, please write me again. I will appear. But let's stick to this Constitution and why I'm here.
Let me just come in really quick, Mr. Gilman. It is not true that we didn't tell you why you are here today. According to your letter that was written, let me read it for everyone to know what it says. Just 1 minute. Maybe I just need to put it on the screen, but let me read it for everyone who is listening. The letter says, Dear Honorable Gilman, the GGAA Independent Election Commission has received a letter of protest against you, alleging that you are in violation of the Constitution by seeking a position in the GGAA that you have no administrative experience to show. The protester, Mr. Othello Brown, alleges, quote, aspirant candidate Octavious Gilman did not meet one of the requirements set forth for the position of national president as clearly spelled out within the GGAA Constitution and bylaws. This aspirant did not meet Article 6, Section 2C of the GGA organic laws that states the national president must have held an administrative position in his or her chapter. So I don't know what part of that letter you read that says we didn't mention what you are here for today.
No. Mr. Jared, what part in that letter said that I will be here to answer something different according to that one reason that Mr. Brown wrote? So I want to stick to that.
Okay, so your concern is we should talk about just whether you have held administrative position, and we shouldn't ask any other question on the administrative issue.
That's what the letter you sent to me. You just read it. That's what the letter you sent to me. That's one reason.
So if we ask you questions that have to do with your being qualified as a person to contest, it has to be just whether you held administrative position. That's what you want to stick to? Yes or no?
Yes, but before I answer that question, before I answer that question, we should also, I went back, I said, one, we're trying to face this community, we're trying to face this Constitution, and thank God to my brother Othello. There's no reason why I should be here today, because there's no
Gilman,
way in the Constitution said,
Mr. Gilman.
Yeah.
Let me acquaint you with all of the processes, maybe for the future. If a commission writes you and tell you that this is why we want you to come to defend yourself, you're supposed to respond to that commission with a letter raising the very issue that you are raising now. Because if you have raised that issue in your letter, we will not schedule this hearing. It means you already forfeit your position to defend yourself publicly, and then we'll make a judgment based on your letter. But you did not write us to tell us that you're not going to come. You did not write us to tell us that this is what I'm going to answer to when I come. You did not write us to restrict us to anything. So how do you come to the hearing and begin something that you never told us before?
Thank you. Let me answer that. Thank you very much.
Even to fortress,
if you get a speeding ticket, if a police gave you a ticket going to court, that don't mean you're guilty. You can show up to court. And
We have
explain
not
to the
said you are
judge.
guilty.
No,
We
hold
have
on
not
now.
said you are
Can
guilty.
please? Okay, can you? Yes. If you get a speeding ticket, if a police gave you a speeding ticket, you can go to court. Going to court, that don't mean you're guilty.
No, you are not.
Okay,
No, you are not.
So my appearance here, that don't mean that I came to answer questions.
No, you are not guilty, Mr. Gilman.
Okay, yeah,
Nobody
Nobody
says you are guilty. You are here today. You are here today to face your accuser. You have the right to say right now, commissioners, I'm walking away. And we will just allow you to walk away. We'll have questions for Mr. Othello Brown. We ask Mr. Othello Brown. We go in our caucus. What you presented to us, we can make a judgment on that. So
Yeah,
you are not guilty. You are free to go. You are free to defend yourself. They may say you are not competent to serve as Grand Jury President because you are not held any position. If you think by putting up a filibuster and not defending yourself for thousands of Grand Jury who are listening in Grand Jury and around the world to know who you are, you can walk away. We'll be happy to let you go.
Okay, thank you.
So what do you want to do, sir? What do you want to do? Do you want to defend yourself or you want to walk away?
Okay, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to walk away. I'm asking, we are here quoting our constitution. And as a leader and your next president, I'll be doing harm to my integrity in this constitution. To go ahead and, and give respect and do something outside this constitution. I'm here because of the same constitution. Mr. Brown is quoting from this constitution. Every one of you guys are quoting from this constitution. Then what? I'm asking the commissioner to ask Mr. Brown, where in this constitution said that we should file a protest before an election. That's all. If any one of you guys can show it to
Mr. Gilman.
Yeah.
Mr. Gilman, when we had our rules and guidelines posted on the 30th day of November 2022, up to present is at the Green GGAA website, and you saw that. So had it been, and we had this protest scheduled February 2nd, up to the 15th being the deadline, a minute after midnight, 12 o'clock, we haven't heard from you. Now you ask, what is it placed into the Constitution? We left rooms and doors open that we have the right to inject something that will be convenience for us. And you went, to give you an example, you went through the criminal background check. That, of course, you admitted to that. Those things were all designed by us. And your team did appear last night for questioning as well. And you allowed them to come. So are you still saying, because it's not part of the Constitution, you got a problem with that? Will you not sit for hearing? What do you think of that?
Thank you. Madam Commissioner, I respect everything you just said. The reason is very simple. And I beg your pardon. Everyone just listen. Mr. Brown did every one of us a favor. Mr. Brown was not quoting from any other document. He was quoting from the preamble of Grand Jury Association in the Americas. So I'm asking your body, if any one of y'all can show me in this constitution that every one of us is quoting from, Mr. Brown based of questioning me from the same constitution. Can any one of you guys show me where in our constitution, the Grand Jury Association constitution, that said protest should be filed before an election? We'll go ahead with this conversation. Two, the letter that you sent to me.
Let me make a clarification.
So you coming in, Mr. Jeru?
Yeah, let me come in, Madam Chair. Let me make a clarification for the last time, and we're not going to go back to it. And I want you to listen carefully.
Yes.
The Constitution says the Election Commission shall carve its own rules. There is a portion in the Constitution that gave us the right to carve rules that will make our process smooth and proceedable. So here, the issue of protest is always part of the election process. There are people who do not deserve to be there, who are not qualified by Constitution. There are people who say they are voters and their names they are not voters, and people protest on that. So it is part of election everywhere. Okay, so it is part of our rules. Any rules that we make that does not violate the Constitution, it can be held up. When it violates the Constitution, you will tell us your rule violated the Constitution, and you will quote that part that it violated. If anything that is not mentioned in the Constitution, it is up to interpretation by anybody. The Commission can use it, you can use it. So here is it. Before we ask, there's a period for questions. The question you are asking Mr. Othello, he cannot answer now because you are still in your direct statement. So these are the things you will say, and the Commission can look into that and say, Mr. Othello, Mr. Octavious Gilman has a point in this, and then we can make a judgment on that. But somebody has to answer first. We have a question and answer period. You make your statement. When the question and answer period comes, you can ask him, and that can be part of your defense. Is that okay with you?
Thank you very much again, Mr. Gerald. If this body, you just read that letter that all Grangidians around the world and back home listen to, there's nowhere in that letter that was sent to me said, I will be here to be questioned on any other subject matter. Only one thing. So, it's simple. I'm saying, because of administrative position, and Mr. Brown was quoting from Grangidian Association Constitution. So, since we're going back to that Constitution, I'm just saying, if any one of you guys can send that particular quote where it said in our Constitution said we should file a protest before the election, I will go ahead. If you want to ask me any other question, I'm not going
to go. No. We can't filibuster you right now. The Commission cannot filibuster you. I've reached my end point. We told you already where we stand. Do you want to continue or do you not want to continue?
I will continue. But
okay, if you are going to continue, we will discuss that as we go along. We cannot hijack the process.
Okay, let me say this to all Grangidians and Madam Commissioner.
Yeah, you can say whatever we will let you speak. Yeah. You are an aspirant. You have a wide latitude to say whatever you want to say, but we can't hold up the hearing. Okay. Even if you leave, we still have questions from Othello. We'll still make a judgment after you leave, or when you hear, we'll still do what we want to do. This hearing has no control over what the Commission will do. That I can promise you that. The Commission will look at the records. We only want you to defend yourself. It's a public record that you are being accused, that you don't have the administrative capability to lead this organization. We want to give you the opportunity to defend yourself against that. And that's why we are going to be questioning you on tonight. We're not going to be questioning on how many children you have. That's not what we're here for. We're not going to be questioning you, when did you go to school? We're not going to be questioning you that. We're going to ask you questions that deal directly or indirectly to your administrative experience. If that is okay with you, we want you to continue your statement, and then we'll go to the question and answer period.
Thank you very much. Mr. Jarrett, this is very simple. If you can give Mr. Brown the opportunity to point to the Constitution, to go in our Constitution.
You cannot do that now because it's not time for question and answer. When the time for question and answer, when you question him, he will respond. We can't do that. It will be violating his right on this. We can't do that.
Why are we here? We are here because Mr. Brown was quoting from the Constitution, Mr. Jarrett.
We have a question and answer period. When that time comes, Mr. Brown can respond to your question.
Mr. Johnson, Mr. Gerald, let me come in. Aspirant Octavious Gilman, Mr. Gilman.
Yeah.
I think you heard what the Commission just explained to you. Even if Othello can answer the question and say there is nowhere in the Constitution that point out an individual or anybody can file protest prior to election, Still, the guideline of the commissions gave Othello the right to protest because the guidelines say there is a period for protest. So indeed, at the commission, the Constitution gave us the right to devise our own rules. Based on this, Othello using this opportunity to write a protest against you. Are you going to respond to that or not?
Yes, I will respond. According to the Constitution that Othello, my brother, is quoting from, the Constitution said, Section 8, Article 5, F, challenges to the conduct and result of election shall be made no later than 24 hours following the announcement of the election result. That means after. However, the intention to file a protest might be made known to the Election Commission immediately upon the announcement of the election result. That after again. So I'm asking the ballot, my fellow Grenadians, I'm asking the ballot, you don't respect our Constitution. As your next president, as somebody who is running to be president, want to respect this Constitution, why should I not respect?
Mr. Gilman, you just read a section of the Constitution that has to do with after election protest. That's what you just read. But the protest, listen, the protest he filed against you is not election result protest. That just frame it in the other way to say he has a concern. Will you address that concern?
The question is, why am I here? Why are we?
You are here because Othello has a concern against you.
Yes, and I respect that. I asked the commissioner to look at Othello case and say, okay, do you have a ground even to file this protest? He don't. So I
no, our guideline gave you the ground. Our guidelines gave me the ground to do what he did.
Mr. Octavious Gilman.
And the rest go to any other person who has the chance tonight up to 12 midnight to do the same.
Mr. Octavious Gilman, we schedule for 1 hour 30 minutes. When that time is over, we're going to take you off screen. So you can go and filibuster all you want. Your time is going. So when that time comes, I will take you off screen and we'll continue with the process. Go ahead. You can go ahead and talk.
I will respect
Mr. Gilman,
Yeah,
Mr. Gilman, can I inject something?
Sure.
When the protests were being fired in by Mr. Othello Brown against you, Mr. Octavious Gilman, since when you received the copy of that protest?
I received that protest almost close to 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Sorry, it's not questioning period. So I trying to come in just to cool the system because we are all one. The very first time I was being asked on this same radio show, I said we are all Grenadians, so we are doing everything to the 40 years that will bring Grenadians to understanding of being just one people, and then the best way we can all glue together. Some people said no, it's not because of families, but they were not hearing me. Now this is it. You got a protest that somebody filed against you, an accuser. It is 2 weeks, and we haven't heard from you. Then after that, we wrote you, I think about 2-3 days ago. It was on a Monday or Sunday night when we disbursed those letters calling you to the talk show. A word was not heard from you again for the second time. And then as an aspirant, you got your treasurer, you got your chaplain, and those people, you got your VP, left your camp and came and sat on the same protest issue. They were all asked questions, and they asked in return. They answered their questions, and they all disbursed last night. Now you are saying, had it been this was a protest, why don't we honor this protest immediately after election? That's what you are saying. But then you're forgetting to know we got We got the right to do it the way we want to do it. This is a hearing. Immediately after the election, when a protest come in, who is not being satisfied, we will treat with that. But we have to hear, because we open that on our guidelines. Our guidelines carry this. Don't you think someone who has such a plan of being a leader for Grand Gideon at the time, it was necessary that you get to us? And our doors and windows have been open for the past, I don't know how many months, that you can call us anytime to talk to us. But you did not do that. To close, you have an hour to talk to us, to express yourself. If you don't want to, immediately after that hour, we have no qualms with that. We're going to close this talk show, close you, or excuse me, however, I don't know how it may appear to you, but I don't mean no harm. Then we continue with Othello Brown. Let him come in to say whatever will be that he have to say. But I think you got all of what we've been communicating with you. And we can't take this to be talking whole night long. One thing you need to believe, elections periods are varied. Our group, my group, followed by my fellow colleagues, if debate usually being held in the house, but we are saying it will be on top. So this time, let Nigerians know who are they choosing. What are they have the Queen language to their fingertip? What are they have their subject verb agreement together? We choose to do that. If you're not satisfied, well, there's nothing we can do. Any other person, I'm sorry, it's not you alone. Thank you. And Brother Presiding, you can go ahead.
Can I respond to that, please?
Yeah.
Thank you. Madam Commissioner, you just said it right. You said that I gave you a typical example. My coming here, that don't mean I'm guilty. It's like you got a ticket. The police gave you a ticket. Going to court, that don't mean you're going to plead guilty. You're respecting the law, the system. You can get there and say, I'm not guilty. So I responded to you guys and said, I received and honor the letter. I will appear. My team and I sat down and look at it and said, why are we even here in the first place? Because if we're cutting from this constitution, I want us to do it right. We shouldn't disrespect this constitution.
Mr. Gilman, when you and your team sat and decided you would not be able to participate, why didn't you write us?
I did not say that again.
When you and your team sat down and decided you didn't understand why you were here, why you didn't write the IECOM?
I did not say that again, please. That is the second time.
What did you say?
No,
you just said it.
No.
Mr. Gilman, Mr. Gilman, we are done with filibustering. You either decide to be or you not be, and then we'll take you off screen.
I will let you do that because I cannot. If I walk out, it will be disrespect.
Okay, so he is backstage. He is backstage. We have to be very stern with some of these things. Mr. Gilman is very much aware of what we are going to be doing today. We wrote in more than 2 weeks ago, and he has a responsibility to tell us why he will come, why he will not come, and at the point where he came to the hearing, for him to ask us that he doesn't know why he's here, it is not the way to proceed. Okay, so Madam Chair, Urias, what is your will and pleasure? We can dismiss the hearing, or we can go ahead and have Mr. Brown respond, and we'll go into our hearing and decide Mr. Gilman's fate according to his document he presented.
Well, Mr. Jeru, I want to come in.
I'm going to also take Mr. Brown off and put him in the background so that both of them can be in the background while we discuss this. Go ahead.
Mr. Jeru, you know, for me, I don't have a question, but I have to make a statement so that Grandidians in America and back home would know exactly why we are doing these things. First of all, we want to be clear. A protest filed by an individual does not control the decision the vetting process of the election commissioner. We as election commissioners, we have our own process that we use to talk to these aspirants. Again, we are in a law time, Mr. Jeru. The benefit of the doubt is hanging over Mr. Gilman.
Absolutely, and that's
if he agreed to come and then debunk the protest of Mr. Othello Brown, it left with him. If he doesn't want to, it left with him. Grandidians are listening, they are saying, so we are not the one to say, come back or do this. It left with him. As far as I'm concerned, by 9 o'clock, it's right now 8:56. We still got 4 minutes. If Gamer can come back and use part of the 4 minutes and explain to the public, that will be fine. If he doesn't, that's okay. If we want to go ahead to ask Mr. Brown questions, we go ahead. So those of all and the public that have questions, we can open the line for them to ask Othello Brown. But it is unfortunate for Gamer to come here and say that he does not know the reason why he's here, when in fact he was scheduled yesterday. He should have been on yesterday. Was it yesterday? But he called us and then we rescheduled him at 8 o'clock, but because we got other people to talk to, we couldn't have gone that route to be able to talk to him. And after that, he called us and he and us, we talked. We concluded that we're going to do that today. He's going to be the first person for us to talk to. We have other people for us to talk to. There's no need to waste our time. You know?
Here is what I'm thinking. First of all, if Mr. Gilman and his team thought that this process was not possible, he shouldn't have allowed
his VP and treasurer to come in.
His VP,
that's what I said,
to come in back and say you don't know why he's here. For me, in this kind of situation, I would defend my record. I would defend my record because somebody say I do not have the administrative capabilities to be able to lead this organization. Now he sent us his resume that he served in certain positions. We also want to know, we want to question Mr. Brown, what are the positions that the man say is serving? Whether it's not equivalent to administrative position, and if he doesn't believe that it's equivalent to administrative position, why? And question Mr. Gilman, the position you serving, you say it's administrative position. Why is it administrative position? That way, we also understand. It gave us more information that when we go to our voting process, we'll be able to make the sound decision. So at this point, both of them are beyond backstage. I'm going to bring them back and we'll get a definitive statement from him.
Mr. Jeru, before you bring them back, let me just give some clarity so that the audience there can know. Last night when we spoke with about 4 aspirants and 2 from Mr. Octavious Gilman, and right there, I believe you guys might heard what he said. He came in as a witness at the back, but we did not get a chance to talk. I think Madam Poa was also there. So if this time was not being wrapped or necessary for you to appear, then why will you come in as a witness with those aspirants from your team? And on the same day as a clarity to the public so that they can know that we did all that we could to at least make him to be brought to this show. And actually he accepted that. He gave us even the time for today being wrapped for him. So then what else?
Okay.
However,
I think last night he has a departing statement last night. He gave a statement last night.
And he said he was looking forward to this. But here's the thing. This is a public forum. There are wise people out there. What we are saying and what he is saying, the public is going to judge it. When election commissions are carving their rules, it's not every rules in the election commission is in the Constitution. The Constitution gave the election commission the right to carve its own rules. There are several things that he had done. We asked for this. There are several things he had done that are not necessarily in the Constitution. We asked for resume. He sent his resume.
I said
it's not in the Constitution, but the Commission wants to understand his administrative positions that he has.
Because it's the highest seat he's seeking for.
There are other things that he abide by that we accepted from him. So I don't know how this is different, but like I said, let's bring the both of them back. If he is not willing to participate, we can excuse him and we can ask Mr. Brown all the questions we want to ask him and close this as a hearing. On Friday, Mr. James Ubote is going to be here to be able to face Mr. Brown about his inability to satisfy constitutional requirement to not go beyond 2 terms. So we're going to bring both of them back. All right, thank you very much, Chairman. We brought you back. We want to make sure that we don't waste our time anymore. Mr. Gilman, you were speaking before you went backstage. We'll get back to Brown. You either continue your statement. I still have 3 minutes left for you. Or what do you want to do today?
Thank you very much. And I want to say thanks to my fellow Grenadians around the world. And thanks to the commissioner, every one of you guys. I appreciate the time. And it's a difficult job that you guys are undertaking for the good of our community and our county and our people. Well, as you all are aware, I served as the National Press Secretary for Augustine Mange from 2017 to 2019. And that job proved to anybody out there that I meet the qualification to be your next president. But, Madam Commissioner, I go back to my previous statement. If we're going to do this right, I want us to start from us that on this particular platform tonight. That will be the change that we want to see. That will be the change that we're advocating for. We cannot be advocating for change, saying we want change, and we're doing things wrong. They abide by this Constitution. Mr. Brown did not quote anything before he filed this protest. We quote our Constitution. And I go back to it. If any one of y'all can point where in this Constitution said that you should file a protest before the election, we'll continue this process. But if you can, then Mr. Mann, I ask that you dismiss this case based on those factors. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gilman. Having heard from the accuser and the accused, we will do as we usually do. It's time for the accused to ask the accuser questions about the accusation. So, Mr. Gilman, you have the right to ask any amount of questions to Mr. Brown at this time, and he will be obliged to respond to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Jairo. I know you can't.
Mr. Brown, will you take yourself on mute? I'll take you from on mute. Mr. Brown? Mr. Brown, you are on mute. Mr. Brown, are you there? He put himself on mute and probably, okay, he's not on mute anymore. Oh no, he's back on mute. Mr. Brown, you need to take yourself on mute. They're going to ask you some questions, please.
Why is he on mute? In fact, a lot of his phone still reading, and nothing is coming on.
Apparently, he's doing something else apart from what we're doing.
But we're not coming to sit and be waiting for Othello to because if you don't ask questions, then Mr. Gilman can go ahead and ask questions, or we ask questions and be done with that. Brown, I'm going to be keeping us here.
If Mr. Gilman asks questions, who will respond? The man is supposed to ask his accuser questions to clarify some things. We need to ask the accuser questions too. So we just have to work with Mr. Gilman, Mr. Brown. Let me see if I can call him.
if a man can come on the live there, let him call directly so that he can listen, because we're not going to be doing that from here every time.
I think he's going to be calling. Let's see if he's going to call back or he's going to come back on. Let's be patient a little bit. These things are technology. Not everybody are savvy to this. Mr. Gilman has used this technology before, so he might know what it is.
So Mr. Gerald, the other team will be calling in tonight.
Yeah. What happened? You're not coming on? No, you're not on. You're not. Yeah, but go. Just turn off and go and do the same thing. Tap on the link again so you can come back in. Yeah, because you're not on. You took yourself from on air. You gotta type. You gotta tap on the go. Enter studio. You see enter studio there. Tap on enter studio. No, that's okay. I say I make mistakes sometimes. You got it? Oh, that's okay. It's computer's a little bit slow. Why don't you use your phone so you can just be quick? No, you're not. Enter studio. Enter studio. That's then when I will see you. Okay, I will. 1 minute. They say not connected. Your device not connected. You're using Apple machine. What did you do first? Okay, let me kick you out and then you will do it again. Okay, do it again. So click on the link that kick you out. You should be doing it fresh. Yeah, your phone will be rather easier. What are you using? Using Android? Yeah, iPhone 12, 13, 11. Okay, then you can make it. Anything less than 10, it can come in. You want to be on the phone? I can have you on the phone though.
No, let the public see the man who filed protest and asking questions.
Put your name and then enter and then press and
the same way you do that's what you do.
I see you. Thank you very much, Othello, for coming back. It was quite a tough thing, but you are more clearer now. Keep using the phone. Just set the phone down.
My man, you need to improve your skill when it comes to technology.
Set the phone down so it can't shake, so you'll be stable. You able to lay this phone on something, lay against something?
Yeah, let me lay on something here. Okay.
Yeah. You have very good clothes, so we can see that. There you go. All right. So Mr. Gilman is about to ask you some questions.
Yeah,
Let's be
sure.
respectful. We call each other Mr. Honorable or whatever that is more respectful, so that this process will be more friendlier. Thank you very much, Mr. Gilman. You have the floor.
And thank you very much again. Yeah, Mr. Brown, the question is very simple. Yeah, Mr. Brown, you are a scholar in our Constitution. You read this from start to end. This is what you do for a living. And Mr. Brown, for the sake of our audience, our people, and our community, what you did was brilliant. I respect that. Can you please quote where in the Constitution said that you can file a protest before an election, an individual who is not a candidate? And Mr. Brown, if you cannot see it, if you cannot find it, Mr. Brown, I ask that you ask the commissioner to dismiss this hearing and do our county and our people a favor.
Are you asking questions still, or are you making a comment?
No.
Ask the question and let him respond.
Yeah, I just asked, yeah, to show where in the Constitution. Because, yeah.
Okay, Mr. Commissioner, are you guys hearing me?
Yeah, you are loud and clear, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gilman. I listen to you. I don't want this thing to be holy and pudding. The commissioner has the right under their guide, to make rules that will be in conformity with the Constitution. It is within our Constitution, so they make the rules, and I will quote the rules. If you read the commissioner rule, what they call the general election rules of the GGAA Independent Election Commission, 3.5. 3.5 said, all election protests shall be filed with the election commission except the commission is implicated in or is the subject of the protest, in which case the protest shall be filed with the National Board of Directors. And at the same thing too within our Constitution, if you read the Constitution of Article 8, Article 8G, Article 8 Section 1G. Article 8 Section 1G said the same thing. The same thing they wrote in the election laws. That's the same thing here. So I have the two copies with me here. So based on the power invested in them, I utilize the opportunity the time stipulated to carry on the protest. So Mr. Gilman, based on the innuendo of the election commission, that's how I derive at this point. So that's something that I just did vague. Thank you.
Oh, so thank you for that. So you're saying that it's not in the Constitution, but based on the power that given to the election commission, and you capitalize on that to fight this protest. Am I right?
No. You know, I don't say it's not in the Constitution. I said the way you saying it, like show me the part of the Constitution that say individual can fight in protest. No,
it's
there's
not
nothing to say individual can fight in protest. No, but they talk about protest in Article 8 section in Article 8 section 1 ish. Article 8 section 1 ish said all election protests. You see all the war, all. It's not specific.
And Your Honor, Madam Commissioner, our brother Othello just stated plain and simple for everyone.
No, please
there.
ask your question. The madam did not respond to anything.
He just stated that it's not in the Constitution. So, Madam Commissioner,
we're not asking for comment. We're asking for questions
this
to
case.
Othello.
Othello cannot quote anywhere in the Constitution said.
We're not going to say anything to what you're making, so it's a waste of time.
Okay,
it's
Othello,
time to ask questions. If your question is finished, you let us know.
Okay, Othello, can you please quote where the particular word? Do not go to where they give that's a blanket statement. The election commission can come and say, oh no, we're buying somebody, we're doing this. They can use, but can you quote where in our Constitution say? Can you quote that for the public and say that
that's all I'm saying.
Can file protest before the election?
No, take out the individual from there. Individual, I don't want to agree with you. Individual, because there's nothing in our Constitution that say individual. They say all election protests. All election protests.
Can you quote where it said you can file a protest? A group of people can file a protest before an election.
Nothing in the Constitution says a group of people file protest or individual file protest. They say all election protests. The Constitution was vague, blunt.
No, I want you to listen to my word. I want you to listen to my word. Where in our Constitution said this is very before that all I want before the election. Can you quote where in our Constitution said that before the election?
Mr. Gilman.
Yeah.
I, Othello Brown, I know what I learned in school. I know how I live in my life.
But can you just quote it for the public?
But I will not say the way you're saying it. To say she want to get individual, she want to get a group of people. I'm telling you, say all election protests. All.
Yes.
This one say all. It means what?
We agree.
Anything that concerns like how language.
No. Do not misquote. I said where in the Constitution said before an election. I'm not asking you will your term or plenty. I got that. I said before an election.
This will be the last question on this issue.
But let me answer the question, Mr. Jerry. Let me answer the question.
No, Mr. Othello is not supposed to answer the way you want it. He has responded, and based on his response, the commission will make a judgment on whether he's honest or not honest, or whether your question was answered. That decision will be made in the commission deliberation. He cannot continue to say the same thing. So you can ask the question, and he gave a last question, and last answer will go to the next thing, because we'll still make a judgment on whether he was right or wrong.
You got.
And I go back to Mr. Brown. I mean, what you did a pretty good job for everyone of us and every Grenadian, that our constitution have some work to be done. And if we're going to do that, if we're going to do that, put the constitution and then respect this book. So I'm asking my brother and my good friend, this man is not just anybody. This guy is a professional lawyer, whatever you want to call him. I'm asking you, can you do us a favor? Wherein our constitution said you can file a protest before an election. That's all. Just quote it for the public, and we will proceed with this particular conversation. If it's not there, I ask that you ask the election commission to dismiss this case.
You done with your question?
Yeah.
Thank you. I think this will be my last time explaining it. You see, the constitution, the character of the constitution, they're not going to put it in you and myself the way we speak our English or the way we understand our English. The people speak in generalization. What in the constitution I'm just telling you about, Article 8, Section 1. Section 1 all the way to G. That's why I was just quoted. Article 8, Section 1G. It said all protests. So all protests mean before protest, previous protest, after protest. Once they have something to do with protest, all protests. They put everything in one basket. All protests. Everything is in one basket, all protests. So whether it was protest that came yesterday, that protest that coming now, and protest will come tomorrow, all of them in one basket. So I'm not going to go in that basket and say, no, they will not belong here, they will not belong here. Now I just want you to get the concept of it, all protests. So I can't do, but to say this one shouldn't come before a friend, they want to come be a friend. No. I don't see it in the constitution. I don't see it there. And I'm telling you, my reliance was based on all protests, and then the election commission 3.5 of the election commission something. Yeah. You see an election commission, that's something. 3.5 of election commission law. That's why I base my argument on.
Thank you very much.
All right. Any other questions, sir?
Mr. Brown just said it. That is not in the constitution. Madam Commissioner,
the man did not say that. The man did not say that, Mr. Witness.
He just said it.
No, the man did not say that. The man did not say that. Do you have any other question? If you rest your question, the commission will ask Mr. Brown question. Have you rested your question?
Mr. Commissioner, member of your team, I'm asking.
Have you rested your question?
Go ahead.
You rest your question because the commission.
No, you keep interrupting me. That's the problem.
Do you have more questions for Mr. Brown or not?
No, he already answered that. It's not in the constitution. That's
do you have more questions for Mr. He didn't say that. Do you have more questions for Mr. Brown? The commission has questions for him. Okay, you rested your question. Thank you very much. You can relax, and the commission will ask Mr. Brown for some questions. Okay, and please, we don't want any interference. You have your time. Nobody interfere you. So when the commission is asking questions, we will hope that you will listen and not interfere. Okay,
Mr. Daryl.
Yeah.
Did you put it in the bag?
No, not me.
Okay, I want him to be on before we gotta make this straight to Mr. Gilman. Mr. Gilman.
Yeah.
Again, we want to be clear with you.
Yeah.
Your idea to say it is not in the Constitution, therefore we should throw the case out is zero. We just told you, even if it is not in the Constitution, indeed, an election commissioner use that in her guideline. Anybody as member of the institution can still use that and file protest against any aspirants. So based on that, Othello again said from what he saw from the Constitution Article 8, Section 1A, plus what the Constitution empower they as the member, he used that to file protest. We're not going to throw the case out. Indeed, this section, it is part of our election guidelines. We are not going to throw this case out.
Okay.
It is left with you. It is left with you to either listen or sit for the hearing, ask question, answer question, and make your point. The reason why you believe you are capable or you are qualified to contest the GGAA presidential election. We are not, again, we are not going to throw out this case.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
Mr. Gilman is
one second.
Mr. Gilman.
Yeah,
I'll
1
give
second,
you
Mr.
30
Gilman, 1
seconds.
second. Yeah.
Yeah, 30 seconds.
Why the election commission did not file this protest?
The election commission does not file protest. You don't look for case. If nobody has filed a protest, we will not file any protest. We don't look for case. It's our job to look at people complain, not to look for complaint. We don't do that. So we're never going to do that. The option is open to Grangians. Whoever they think they are not supposed to be and what they want to be, they can file a protest. And if we see merit in their complaint, in their protest, then we take up the protest. If we don't see merit, we throw the protest out. But we will never file protest because it's not our place. But I want you to listen while we question Mr. Brown, and Mr. Brown will have the opportunity to question you. You can decide not to answer, and we will have the opportunity to question you as well. So I want you to relax. Commission question, Mr. Uriah's son.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Brown.
Yes, sir.
I have a question.
Fire.
If you keenly listen to Mr. Gilman, he said he served as press secretary during Mr. Menye administration. And you are claiming that he did not serve in any administrative position. In this position he served, in what category are you going to place this position he occupies?
Thank you, Mr. Urias. Well, I'm going exactly into the Constitution. The Constitution says that you don't have a chapter to register with the administration. If you don't have a chapter, you must go register with a chapter. And the Constitution rule says you must have served in your chapter, executive position in your chapter. This brother, Mr. Gilman, do not have a chapter. Now, he do not have a chapter, so he finds himself under administration. Administration is not a chapter. Administration is not a chapter. We have chapters and we have administration. So if he finds himself under administration, then he should be administration. And the administration, the Constitution make it clear. The administration in GGAA is the national president, national vice president, national secretary, national treasurer, and national chaplain. Those 5 positions are the administrative position within GGAA. So saying he finds himself within GGAA, that gave him a right to go vote because you do not have a chapter, that doesn't mean that he's an executive or that doesn't mean that he's an administration, because the Constitution make it clear who is an administrator or who is heading administrative position. The Constitution make it clear that administrative position within GGAA, that the 5 positions just named. So if you have to say our in Detroit and Detroit have chapter and I serve there at 3RO, we'll consider it because D12 D12 have their own rules that subscribe to GGAA rules. The other brother from Des Moines last night, when he said he worked in Des Moines, he worked as an advisor, I did not hammer him because the issue about is that Des Moines is a chapter. He do not have a chapter for an administration, and in administration they don't get no position of such.
Okay, I have another question.
Fire.
Now that you know the case of this brother does not have a chapter, what happens if you are going to serve as a secretary in the national, and at this time he wants to vie for national president position? What will be your doubt about him?
Thank you. It do not work that way in our constitution. Our constitution provides that if there's a vacancy, meaning those who was elected to serve the position, those 5 positions, if one of them falls sick and unable to work and vacancy is there, the administration should acknowledge the board.
No, the question, that's not the question I asked. Hold on, I want you to listen keenly. I said, now that you know his situation, he does not have a chapter. What happens in the past if he were to serve as national secretary? You know, national secretary is an elected position. And now, this time around, he wants to contest to be president. What would be your doubt against him?
If he had to serve in the past as national secretary, then
yes,
he served. Then he served. In the past as national secretary, then he served. Then we'll know.
So that means that means he's qualified to contest for the presidency, right?
Because he served in the past as national secretary, so we'll know which of the national secretary he served. If he served on a former GGA presidency as a secretary, then he's qualified.
Okay.
Qualified.
All right. I rest my question.
Thank you very much. I will go, and then the chair lady will be the last to ask the question. Mr. Brown.
Yes, sir.
According to Article 6, Section 2, it means a lot of qualification for a president. One of them is to be a Grandidian, and you are residing in the United States. Do you have any problem with Mr. Gilman on that?
No, no problem.
In Section 2B, you must be at least high school graduate education. Do you have any problem with Mr. Gilman on that?
No, I don't have problem.
Okay, the Constitution, C says the national president must have administrative positions in her chapter. Do you have any problem, Mr. Gilman, on that?
Yeah, that's the melting point.
So let me ask you a question. What happened to members who do not have chapter in the Graduate Association? What determines their fate?
Yeah, according to our constitution, if you do not have a chapter, you go to the administration. The administration will acknowledge the board.
Okay, so by your statement, so they can still be member of the organization even though
member of the organization. Yes,
they are still member. Do they pay their due to the organization?
Everything, yeah, through the administration.
Do you know how much they pay for their dues?
Yeah, the due at the end of the year, everything is enshrined in the constitution here.
Okay, my understanding of it is that the people without chapter pay $30 because they are aligning with the national. Am I correct?
Correct.
And my understanding is those who are in the chapter, they pay $10 for aligning with their chapter, and that's the only money they pay for the year. Am I correct also?
Well, it varies because I, for one, that's what I pay in my chapter. I'm not paying $10, so I don't know. That's why it's varies.
Well, the Constitution say all members of the chapter should pay $10 to the organization for their membership due. This is in the Constitution. Have you come across it before?
Yes, I came across it.
So then you probably believe me that those who are in the chapter are charged with $10 membership due, correct?
I'm saying it's true, but I, Othello Brown, I'm not paying it in my state.
I quite get it. The chapter can tell you to pay $5,000. Go to the national. Why the national is $10? That's what I'm trying to say. So, Mr. Brown, if individual members, according to the Constitution, are paying $10 from the chapter, and the person who does not have a chapter is paying $30, who's paying more?
If individual members paying $10 for the chapter,
and those without chapters are paying $30, who's paying more?
Well, if you look at it mathematically, you'll notice that someone paying $30 is paying more, but it's not applied to that because the chapter is paying due. We are paying chapter fee.
Well, I understand that, and I understand your sense of collection. Your sense of collection. I really believe you have a great sense of collection, but I am trying to stick myself to the constitutional provision. Someone who doesn't have a chapter is charged $30 as a membership due. Someone who has a chapter is paying $10 as a membership due. So we all agree that the person with the $30 mathematically is paying more membership due, correct?
Correct, mathematically.
So if you are paying $30 for a membership due, do you deserve the benefit of Graduate Association?
Come again?
If you are paying $30 due to the national, do you deserve to enjoy the benefits of Graduate Association?
Yes, you deserve to enjoy the benefit of Graduate Association as a member.
So, Mr. Brown, as a member, does Mr. Octavious Gilman have the right to assume any position within the union since the national recognized him as a national member?
Well, they make it clear that he's going to enjoy the immunity as a member, but when it comes to who becomes leader of the organization, the Constitution came and make it clear. It says chapter.
So,
if I administrative position your chapter.
If I understood you clearly, are you arguing that because Mr. Gilmore is just a member on a national level, therefore he cannot enjoy the privileges what the people in the chapter enjoy?
Correct.
Let me read this section for you.
Okay.
It says, the national president shall have the following minimum qualifications: be a member of the organization, has to graduate equivalent, and must financially be up to date, her chapter affiliation and national. If somebody is required to be committed to their chapter financially, can they be charged money to pay to the national and at the same time lose all the benefits that the organization offers? Does that happen?
Well, you looking at it as losing opportunity, but it's not like you are losing opportunity. The opportunity there is that yes, you can be a Grandian. Not every Grandian is a member of the institution. You could be a Grandian, but not all Grandians are members of the institution. To become a member of the institution, you must be a due pay member. You must attend meeting. The status is so.
To be a member, you should be a due pay member.
Due pay member. Very good. Yeah. So it not means that Othello Brown is a Grandian.
No. I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you a question.
Yeah.
If you said from your words that before you enjoy the benefit of the organization, you should be a due pay member. Is Mr. Gilmore a due pay member?
Oh, sure.
So
he pay.
I'm trying to understand something here. The person pays dues. The person is charged 3 times the amount that people in the chapter should pay. Is it not an indication that they are getting more heavier financial penalty than the people in the chapter? Why would they suffer?
Thank you.
Why would they suffer not to participate in that?
Thank you, Mr. Thank you, my brother, the commissioner. The reason the crafter of this constitution did it the way they did it is to bar people, to discourage people of coming to them, or else everybody be coming to the national administration to come sit down there. There should be a chapter.
Okay.
The essence of the organization is for all to have chapter and grow. And you to have chapter is 15 members. Only 15 members you need. 15 members. 15 members can form a chapter.
Yes.
You understand? So I know in Michigan, they have over 400 Grandidians in Michigan. So if I know I work for Michigan, get chapter starter, I call my wife, I call my children, we 8. I have 2% there with 15, so we declare chaptership. So so that people cannot just be jumping to administration.
I'm going to move up. I'm going to move up some of the questioning. Mr. Gilman claims that he has served as press secretary to former President Augustine Manye. Do you believe that?
Well, you're not lie when you serve a press secretary to Honorable Gilman. You're not lie. He's truthful. So I will take it. I'll take it as face value.
By the judgment of administrative, does press secretary enjoys the benefit of administrator?
Well, according to Grandidia County Constitution, they listed the position that we should call administrative position within GGAA. They listed it. So when he's working with GGAA, he's working with the administration, and he not fall part in another position there, then it's not administrative.
So in other words, you are saying even though he's a press secretary to the national president, since it was not on the chapter level, it is devalued?
Because it's not on the chapter level and it's there, it's not administrative because they said the administrator, the fire position will be elected position and it should be considered an administrative position. So if you're an advisor, if you're a spokesman, if you're office assistant, if you director of staff, all of them, they are not administrative position.
Okay. Madam Chair, do you have a question for Mr. Brown?
Well, thank you, Mr. Jeru. I think I can ask you a single question, just one question. Mr. Brown, thank you ever so much for making the opportunity you had. Others could have done that, but you cleverly got the show.
Thank you.
My question says, besides Mr. Gilman being a press person to Mr. Manye, do you have any knowledge of him at the time? Do you have any knowledge of him serving in any administrative position in Grandidia besides serving as a press person?
Not to my knowledge.
Mr. Brown, what do you compare a press man to that of the administration, to that of the president? What position do you compare? What administrative position do you compare a press man or press position to?
Well, that's a good question, but according to the 5 positions listed that we all should consider according to our constitution as administrative position, nothing there like press something, nothing there like PRO, the RO or nothing. So if Mr. Man, the then president at that time, deemed it necessary that you have PRO to do something, then it's just an attaché to his office to get it to get projects and he will to get it out there to the Grandidians. I think that's another thing that he designed it. But from our fundamental constitution, it not say it.
Okay, Mr. Brown. Last but not the least,
then the last single question.
You know, politics is deep.
Oh Lord, deep.
Politics is deep. Mr. Brown.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
In the case of oppress, in the absence of the president, after that term of the president, do he remain with the administration, or what do you think?
Yes, sir. according to our constitution, anyone who will be press secretary or any other position, like even the one I have, legal advisor, people work in the way they work by the will and pleasure of the president. Position, they are positions that people who occupy there work at the will and pleasure of the president. They can be dismissed by the president, they can be appointed by the president. But those administrative positions are elected positions. You do not work with the will and pleasure of the president. You cannot be even dismissed by the president. You can only be impeached. So, if you say a director of office staff, you serve as president, those are all attaché positions. Administrative position, according to our constitution.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Personally, as we speak, as you are talking with the head of commissioner, you as an individual, what role are you personally playing in the community, the GGA community administration?
Okay. When it comes to GGAA, one role. Currently, I represent my state, board member of my state.
A bit audible, please.
I said, when it comes to GGAA, I represent my state.
To the national board, he represents the state to the national board.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Brother Presiding, I rest my question.
And then apart from that, those other organizations that is now embedded with GGA, like the Chain District, I serve as well vice president for Chain District. And then when you go ahead again, when it comes to United Bobo Amanu, I serve as Secretary General.
No, I was only speaking of GGAA administration. No, with that of our constitution, those ones are not known. Brother Presiding, I rest my questions for now.
Okay, we'll do something unusual. We'll go back to Mr. Gilman if there's something he wanted to ask, he didn't ask. And then we'll go back to the commission if they have anything they wanted to ask, they didn't ask. Mr. Gilman, you have something you wanted to ask that you didn't ask?
No, I mean, Othello said it plain blank that what the protest he filed is not in the constitution, so I got nothing else to say.
Okay, Mr. Son, you got something you wanted to ask, you didn't ask?
To Mr. Brown?
Yes.
No.
Okay, I got one or two more things to add, Mr. Brown, to just clarify some things. What is the objective? What is the constitutional intent for demanding someone to serve in their chapter?
Okay. The mandate there for someone to serve in that chapter because two things involved. And the two things involved is that
I don't know what is going on. We are not hearing him. Can you be a bit audible?
When you go back and forward, then yeah, we are hearing you now. When you're going back and forth, then the audio is that's what happened at the phone.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
You hearing me?
Yeah, we're hearing you, girl.
People all over the world, it's not even limited to Grand GGAA Association. There are people in organization, there are lots of radical people in organization. Meaning there are people who don't care. They just don't want to say organization move, they go there. So the issue of having position in your state will be you have interest in the organization of your state. Y'all come to meeting. Y'all do all type of things to build. Even if you go to convention, you'll be able to pay money to pay your certain fee as a state, as a chapter. You understand? So those are the important things to have your chapter.
Okay.
If you do not have a chapter, or if you are in a chapter and you are not participating,
gentlemen, you're getting Mr. Brown?
Yeah,
we are getting him. You gotta put your phone volume on, Auntie.
It is. It's been like that, and I've been hearing everybody.
I'm a hold it in my hand.
No, you're good. You're good. We can hear you.
So that's it. No one. When I talk to someone call me, I can flow again. Yeah.
Two things. That's one.
Please repeat your question. Yeah.
No, I asked you, what is the constitutional intent for demanding an individual to serve in their state? You said there were two things. You already
Yeah.
named one, which is
Yeah.
for people to participate in their state. What else?
Very good. So if you serve as a leader within your state, probably you may serve as treasurer or maybe president. So from there, you'll be learning how to lead people. You'll be learning how to operate as an administrator. You'll be learning it. So that the first basic there, constitution approved.
Okay. So the other question I want to ask you, apart from serving in your chapter as the president secretary, as you stated, is that the only means by which a Grandidian may be able to obtain administrative skills?
No. You can obtain administrative skills in any form and manner. If you can go to Center Waterspoon School and acquire administrative skill, but our constitution make it blunt, make it straight, laconic. It is laconic, straight to the point. They say you must have served in your chapter. In your chapter. So once you go in your chapter, you work in your chapter, you good. You qualify to go upstairs there, to go on fourth floor.
Do you think the Constitution is unfair to people who do not have chapter?
Well, Mr. Gibson Gerald, I think that will be the next thing we'll talk about. But as it is now, we are going from war to war in the Constitution. We got to live by it. That'll be another thing to discuss.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll be the next thing to discuss. No problem. We'll leave that one for Ome Kamon to come tomorrow. Thank you very much, Mr. Brown.
So I keep to that. Even I no questions there.
No, we're coming to you now. We're coming to you now.
You ask question to Gilman.
It is time for you to ask Mr. Gilman questions.
Okay.
And then after you, the commissioners will ask questions.
Okay. I want to ask Mr. Gilman, what is the difference or the difference between a chapter and administration? The differences.
Yeah, Mr. Brown, thank you for being here today. Like I said, you stated plain, blank, and simple that there's nowhere in the Constitution that said you should file protest before the election. And Mr. Brown,
Jerry, you want to check your microphone there, your speaker or something?
What happened?
It was loud and clear before, but now it just keeps descending.
Well, my speaker don't control it. The audio is in the system, so it will adapt to your phone. So what you do, if you want to go off and come in again, that's no problem. And see.
I think let me try that.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mr. Gilman.
Yeah. So it's simple. We discussing about this whole constitution issue. That's why the commissioner listened to you, plain and simple. And that's why I encourage the commissioner to dismiss this case, because they all heard you saying that it's not in the Constitution. So whatever we do here is just a matter of entertainment. And because you have no right, there's no basis for your protest, according to you. Thank you.
Excuse me, for the record, Mr. Chairman and
yes,
Commissioner, I want to set the record because this is recorded, and for us who play with laws and stuff, if someone says something that you didn't say, you need to provide a clarity.
Okay.
But if you keep silent, they can use it against you tomorrow.
Yes.
I did not say on this show. You can repeat, you can replay the audio or the video. I did not say nothing in the Constitution that say that no protest, one man can protest. No. I said, I can repeat, emphatically clear. I'm saying the Constitution, 8, 1, G, it said all protest. All protest. So in my own understanding, when someone say all of your camp, they don't mean one more leader. It means everybody must go. So you not say no, they not call me. So they say all protest. What the protest will come after? What the protest will come today? What the protest will come tomorrow? All of them, they are all protest. And then when I look at it for me, I saw it written in the what? In the Independent Election Commission guidelines. I saw it written there. So I said, oh, but then I thank God that I will hold on to this. Not enough, but then the guideline gave it, so I hold on to it. So now, what I said, Mr. Gilman, I did not say, there's nothing to protest in the Constitution. I'll say it. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Brown. The only place you find protest mentioned in the Constitution, and I'm going to read, is Article 8. It said, Article 8, Section 5. F.
Mr. Gilmore, I'm not asking you. I'm asking Mr. Brown if you have additional questions.
Yes, I have additional question. I asked my question. He did not answer it. He said he's not answering it, so I jumped it.
Ask one more question. Let's see what happens.
My last question is that I want for Mr. Gilman to tell me the difference between what the Constitution says that you must have self-administrative position in your chapter. Chapter and administration, are they the same?
Okay, Mr. Brown, thank you again. I will go back, like you saying, when we do this, it's like you give me I gave you a ticket, and the reason why that ticket was wrong, all other charges would be wiped out. I want you to understand that. So if the police officer gave you a ticket, he stopped behind your car, his light was not on, and you continue to drive, and he gave you a ticket and said, look, you did not stop. That don't mean you are guilty, because why? He did not turn his light on, and you continue to drive. If you were to turn his light on, that would indicate that you need to stop. So if you go to court, he cannot go and say, look, you do this, you did. No. So what we're doing here is the basic for this conversation. So the officer was wrong in the first place for giving you a ticket. So what I'm saying here, you are wrong, and you are wrong for even being here, filing this protest, because the only place the court on the mention and protest is Article 8, Section 5, F. Challenge to the conduct of result of election shall be made no later than 48 hours following the announcement of the election result. However, the intention to file a protest must be made known to the Election Commission immediately after the announcement of the constitution of the election result. So, my brother, I understand, but there is no way. So, why are we here? That's the point. So, the basis of your protest, we're not supposed to be here because you have no right. That's why I'm asking.
Mr. Jerry, can I ask my last question? Because
Go ahead, ask your question. What?
Ask your question. Ask your question.
My other question is I want for Mr. Gilman to read Article 8. Say you get a question with him, you must read Article 8G for me. Article 8, Section 1G. Article 8, Section 1G, please.
Hold on.
That's my question.
Okay.
Which is V3.
Yeah, Article 8. Yeah, V3G. Article 8, Section 1G.
Yeah. Othello, if you can read it, that's fine. But the only thing I'm going to point out to in this debate between you and I, or this conversation, is this particular place. Because if I do that, to read any part of this constitution or engage in any conversation with you, I will be violating the same law that everybody is pointing to. So I understand that. And I want us to focus on the particular basis. You have no right. You have no right to file this protest. So I want the commissioner to go back to this. There's nowhere in the Constitution say you should file protest before the election. So if you can point out where, then I'll go ahead and answer any question. And if the election commission can write me an official letter inviting me back for any other question, that's different. But the only thing I will call you today is for that
my fourth question, Mr. Gilman. Thank you. You have the right to read and not to read. Thank you that you never read it. My fourth question is.
I did not say. No. I never read. Don't misquote me.
You're not reading. So no, it's okay. I said read G. You're not reading G. It's okay. My fourth question, Mr. Gilman, you want to be president of GGAA? Do you know that GGAA Constitution is only subject to the Constitution, the bylaws of Philadelphia. You know that?
You're breaking up.
I repeat, as a president, you vying for the presidency of the organization. Do you know that GGAA Constitution, GGAA, is subject to the bylaws and Constitution of Pennsylvania? Do you know the state of Pennsylvania?
Othello, thank you again. I'm aware of every single thing you are saying, but Othello, if we're going to solve this problem, if we're going to fix our organization, if we're going to fix GGA, we have to respect this book. We cannot pick and choose. We cannot interpret the way in which we want or we deem it necessary to affect one person. Let us respect it. If we're going to do it right, let's start from us. So let every one of us respect this constitution. You sitting here, you cut in this constitution, but you cannot quote.
Mr. Gilman, are you there?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so here's the thing, Mr. Brown.
Yeah.
It's clear that he is not prepared to answer any of the questions.
Thank you.
So if you don't mind, I can suggest you rest your question.
Okay. Honorable commissioners present in chamber, distinguished contestant or candidate. Oh, okay, speak.
No. Do you have any question?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a question to
Mr. Gilman.
Mr. Gilman, but prior to that, let me clarify something to Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown, every question you ask to Mr. Gilman, he gives you answer. The answer probably will not be what you want to hear.
Exactly.
Okay.
So whether he say there's nothing in the Constitution that says you must file protest, that's the answer he wants to give you. So take it as it is. He's not going to respond to you the way you want the answer to be. Now, Mr. Gilman, I have a couple of questions for you. Do you abide by the election guideline, election commission guideline?
Can you repeat that, please?
Do you uphold the election commission guidelines?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Gilman.
Yes.
He just quoted that in order to uphold the Constitution, the way or the protest that was filed by Honorable Brown was not in the Constitution. Therefore, you're not going to respond to it. You just submit some elections guidelines that are not strictly in the Constitution. Why did you respond to these? Like criminal background check, submit resume. Why did you respond to them? When they and hold on, let me make it clear. When these two are also part of the election guidelines, as the same as protest fine.
Now what I said.
No, it's a big difference. And one, it came from the election commission to me. The election commission did not file a protest. The election commission requested those documents. So now, it's a big difference. Every one of you guys are educated. Yeah,
okay, so the same election commission say, there is a period for anybody to file protest against the aspirant. So how can you object to that, but you want to receive the other pieces of the guidelines?
I did not accept that. That don't mean because you said it. That mean because I did not respond to that. I mean I accepted it. No. Othello,
but the question here, listen, Mr. Gilman, we are not fighting. The question here, you are practicing to uphold the Constitution. The Constitution are calling to you, did not give right to individual to file protest prior to election result. That's why you quoted. So I am asking you, what happens to this other background check and submit resume that you have gone ahead? You did. Why you did not say no? The Constitution did not request for that.
Thank you. The same Constitution gave the election commissioner that power.
Okay. So okay. So
wait, Ryan, wait. Mr. Sun, wait, please.
Yeah,
go ahead, Mr. Gilman.
You yourself just said the same Constitution. This is Constitution gave the election commission the leeway to ask for document. Now, I respect that, but this commissioner did not file this protest. This commissioner did not call me yet to say, look, Octavio, we are writing you and saying that, look, you did not meet this or that. No, this commissioner said a Granadian by the name of Othello Brown filed a protest, said this. That's two different things. Othello Brown is not part of your body. So you cannot gain that power. I want you to
question.
that.
Okay, question. I got your explanation. So if the election commissioner say there's a period for protest to be filed against aspirant, who do you think the election commission guideline is referring to? Is it the election commission that's supposed to file protest or outside the election commissioner?
Can you please repeat that, please?
The election commission guideline says there is a period to file protest against the aspirant. In your understanding, does it mean election commissioner is the one that's going to file the protest or people outside the election commissioner?
They said election people outside people should file protest, but that don't mean that anybody can just file because they said file protest. They didn't say file protest before the election. They said file protest. They didn't say file protest before the election.
Mr. Gamer, there's a period indicated. It says from February 2nd to the 15th of February. That's not election period. Nobody casting vote at that time. And the election commissioner guidelines say you can file protest. Who the guideline is referring to file protest? Is it election commissioner or people outside election commissioner?
And that particular phrase, or if that is wrong, because the election commissioner is going outside their boundary.
Okay, hold on right there. Hold on right there. I got your answer. Yeah. Now you are saying election commissioner is stepping outside the bound. How long when you get to know about this and you did not take have a take on it? How long it took when you get to know that election commissioner step out of its bound? That for people to file protest is wrong. It's not part of the Constitution. How long do you get to know, but you do not have anything to say to that?
I expect the election commissioner to know better because we are dealing with this. The election commission cannot just say you.
Okay, Gamer, Mr. Gamer.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good that you know the Constitution and you are holding up to the Constitution. Now that you are dealing with the Constitution that you are pointing to, is there anywhere in our Constitution you are pointing to that say you must submit a criminal background check, you must submit a resume?
That's what I just said again. Just because you are doing it don't mean you're right.
So when you know we are not right, then why comport yourself to it? Why respond to this thing that we are requesting for that you believe in yourself the Constitution did not tell you to do that?
That's the same thing. That's the same thing you and I keep saying. The thing is simple.
Mr. Jerry, looking at the time.
It's wrong.
Yeah, Mr. Jerry.
But Mr. Gamer, my question here, you are saying what the commissioner did is wrong. It's not in our Constitution. Now I'm asking you, you know you want to uphold the Constitution that you are pointing to. What is it you have to submit your criminal background check? What is it you have to submit your resume when you know it's not part of our Constitution, but we went outside the Constitution and requesting you to do that? Why you reply to that?
let's go back to this same constitution. The constitution gave the election commission, that don't mean that every single thing in that constitution or everything the election commission do is right. I want you to understand. Elect for the individual. Yeah, Othello, you're telling you guys.
Okay, let's I got the point of argument. Let's leave that. Let me ask my one or two questions and SD from asking you question. According to the Constitution, Article 6, Section 2C, it says before you vie for national position, you must serve in your chapter as that's the administrative position. You must serve in your chapter as what? One of the administrator, private secretary, president, vice president, treasurer, and chaplain. Now you did not serve in any of the position. You serve as press secretary. How do you reconcile your position that you served in the past with this position that the Constitution clear cut point to?
We go back to this. All these questions, I'll be violating the same law that every one of us trying to respect. This particular reason of you and I being here today is wrong. Othello just stated that. There's nowhere in this constitution said that. So what we're doing here is we're trying to interpret. What you guys do, you interpret the constitution based on your own understanding, picking and choosing. And it's wrong. If every one of you guys quoting this constitution today, we spend almost 2 hours here. Y'all cannot show anywhere in this constitution that said 5 protests before the election. There's something wrong.
No, we show you. Where we show you is that the Constitution gave us, the Election Commission, the right to develop our own rules. And one of our rules we develop is you can people can file protests against aspirant. One of the rules we develop is you must submit your criminal background check. One of the rules we divide is you must submit resume, and the rest of it all. So we told you completely that with the argument you are making, it is not in the Constitution. However, Election Commission has been powered by the Constitution to devise its own rules, and those rules must be abided by. You understand me? So as we speak right now, you are under the obligation of the rules of the Election Commissioner to respond to whatever rules that is on the guidelines.
Thank you.
You need to understand this. Because we are independent body. Do you know that we are independent body? We can write our own rules. Yes, I think you know that.
Okay, I did not interrupt you, please. Yes, there's nowhere in the Constitution said independent again. But yes,
no. Election Commission, the name that is even given to all. Independent Election Commissioner. Independent Election Commissioner. That means anybody of the organization can interfere with us. Do you understand that?
If you're ready, I can speak.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
I want to let Leo. Yeah, I
don't interrupt you, but you keep doing it to me. I mean, I will not disrespect you. You see, it's this. Can you quote me where in this Constitution said independent? Again, you can't find it. You see, if we're going to change this community, if we're going to change our organization, the change should start from you and I as a leader. We can't be interpreting something because we see fit that again or it sounds good. Let's go by this law. If anything in here say that you guys quoting Constitution, but you cannot.
So, Mr. Gamer, let me ask you my last question. Like you are saying, there is nowhere in the Constitution that says Election Commission is independent. Do you think anybody of this organization can interfere with the Election Commission operation?
Are you finished speaking, or you want me to speak?
If I were to continue speaking, you are going to hear me speaking continuously. I just asked you a question. I have a break, so it means you have to come and answer me.
Yeah, but if I'm speaking, you keep interrupting me.
I did not interrupt. I just let you in before I ask you.
Okay. Now, I said in a quote, if we're going to respect this, if we're going to change our community, we should not pick and choose. We should respect this preamble. We got to respect this constitution. Every one of your quoting constitution, but to find a particular spot or that line or that article that says you should file a protest before an election, you can't find it. But you want me to accept every other thing.
All right, Mr. Gilman, Mr. Jeru.
Yeah.
I think I rest my question. I just want to give my departing statement.
Are you going somewhere?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, wait small, please. I beg you.
Okay.
Mr. Gilman, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good, bro.
Okay. When did you receive the Election Commission guidelines?
I stand to be corrected. I think about a month ago.
Since you received the commission guidelines a month ago, did you see anything in the guideline that you think was not supposed to be in the guidelines?
I think a couple of them.
What are those things that were not supposed to be in the guidelines?
I don't have the guideline before me.
Did you discuss the guideline with your team?
Sure.
And those issues that were in the guideline, those couple of issues that were in the guidelines that you think it should not be in the guidelines, you can't remember any of them, even their title or what they're supposed to achieve? You don't remember any of them?
Like I said, I don't have the guideline.
But you don't have to have the guideline to know what our background check is in the guideline, what our interview is in the guideline, what our submission of voter list is in the guideline. These are not something you can easily forget. Is there anything that is very important to you that you saw that was not in the guideline?
Yeah, according to your understanding, you say that easily. And, I can't remember. If I ask you that my resume I sent to you, can you tell me which year I graduated from high school? Can you tell me right now? I mean, you got to go and find it. Okay, you cannot just pick up and say it and find it. So it's the same way. So those things are not before me at this moment.
Mr. Gilman, if you tell me to tell you the year you graduated, is as specific as me asking you what section of the guideline that you disagree with. And that's not what I'm asking. When I ask you what section of the guideline that you disagree with, it would be equivalent to you asking me what year you graduated. It's not general. These are specific. My question is very general. Is there something that you saw in the guideline that shouldn't have been there because you are going for presidential election? You are supposed to be president. You want to be president. And everything in that guideline has to play on your desire to be president. And you say, you are telling this body now that there was something in the guideline that you saw that you and your team discussed, but you cannot remember it to tell us today?
No, I said a couple of them. And look, one of those things was filing protest before the election.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Filing protest. Let's do filing protest.
No. Don't just say filing protest before the election. Yeah.
Filing protest.
Yeah.
Filing protest.
No, an individual. Yeah, not aspiring. Just a single person. No.
So how you want me to pull it?
Yeah, I don't just want you to misquote me.
How you want me to pull it? How do you want me to do? So what you say, filing protest before the guideline or individual filing protest before the guideline, is that which one you want me to do?
Only aspiring can file protest after the election.
Okay, so your concern was our guideline provides that from February 2nd to February 15, any individual who believes that people are not qualified to assume position can protest with the commission. You believe that it was not supposed to be in the guidelines?
100%.
Did you discuss it with your team?
Sure.
So, Mr. Gilman, if you discuss that very important thing with your team, at what point are you going to inform the commission that you disagree with this?
Because I knew that the election commission did not file a protest.
I'm not asking that. I'm asking, since you didn't like that, it was violation of the Constitution in your perspective, you discussed it with your team, you decided that this particular item, you're not even going to abide by it because it's a violation of the Constitution. At what point of this election process are you going to inform the commission?
Because the same commissioner said you can file a protest.
That's not what I'm asking, Mr. Gilman. My question is, at what point of this process that you are going to inform the commission that this part of the election is in violation of the Constitution? What time you're going to tell the commission?
I want you to understand, Mr. Jaru, that I cannot answer the question the way in which you choose. I cannot do that. I want you to respect
I can't let you go also tell me something that I'm not asking for. The question I'm asking is very straightforward. I'm not saying, no, it's straightforward. What time, because you saw it, you discuss it, you think it's in violation, the commission put out the guidelines since November the 30th, and you received that election guidelines since 1 month ago, even though it may have sent November 30th. Now you have problem with this guideline, this part of the guideline. You discuss it with your team, but up to now, we are sitting here. There's no letter from you. There's no phone call from you. There's no text message from you. There's no Facebook posting by you. There's no story by you. You never complained about it. At what point were you expecting to complain about this?
We were seeking legal minds to go over the whole Constitution, and because of time, that's why the same with my treasurer and my VP, they got to us today, and to interpret this Constitution and all the border points. So if those guys were to come a few days ago, my VP and my treasurer would not be, they would not be engaged or involved that the way it was yesterday. I understand both of them were at work, but I mean doing on a difficult condition. But yes, the thing is simple.
So what time, Mr. Gilman, what time did you make the decision that your team members will not appear before the commission to answer to any protest?
I just said it. We sent this Constitution.
What time, what date did you decide that the commission is in violation, therefore no team member will appear? At what point did your team and you yourself decide that?
The same day we received those guidelines. Hold on. Let me finish.
Well, you answer my question, bro. You answer my question. You said the same day you received the guideline 1 month ago.
But Mr. Jarrett, the same day we received those guidelines, we begin to find legal minds who understand GGA Constitution.
I understand that, but with the time you decided.
Hold on, Mr. Jarrett, 1 second.
Listen. When you go to the court, maybe you go there some days. The judge does not have a latitude of time.
Thank you. Go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
To filibuster with you. I want a specific answer. When I get the answer, I'm fine with it. So I can't expect you to go to Jerusalem and come back before I continue with my questioning. That's how it looks everywhere, okay? So the question I was asking, it was very simple. 1 month ago, you received the guideline. You were consulting lawyers, legal minds to interpret the guidelines and the Constitution to you. But your vice presidential aspirant, your treasurer aspirant appeared yesterday. You today, you're not going to answer any question regarding that because it's illegal. What time your team decided that answering questions about this protest is illegal and you will not do it? When did you decide that?
Thank you. I just told you, and I quote, when we received those guidelines from you guys, the next day we begin to consult legal minds that understand GGA Constitution. When they took the Constitution, they said, look, it would take time to go through and every single pieces. We provided the Constitution and the guideline to them. They came back. We keep pushing it. We need those facts. Can you tell us this, that? Then
That's not what I'm
just let
asking,
me
sir.
finish.
You
Please,
did
please.
very good. No, wait. You did a very good job to bring liquor mines, and that's a very good thing you did. But your VP appeared yesterday.
Yeah,
Your
if you
treasurer
just
appeared
allow me,
yesterday.
yeah, if you just allow me
The
to end
question
my
I'm
sentence.
asking, sir, the question I'm asking, instead of you telling me how you try to consult people, I'm not interested anymore because you already told me that 1 month ago you received the guideline, you are consulting legal minds to interpret the guidelines and the Constitution vis-a-vis whatever it is. Now, until yesterday, your VP aspirant appeared, your treasurer aspirant appeared. Today, you find it abhorrent for you to appear. What time did your team make the decision that this is a violation of the Constitution? Therefore, you will not be appearing or your team will not be appearing. When did you make that decision?
It's not me make the decision. My legal team. My legal team make that decision today.
When did they make the decision? When did the legal team make the decision?
The legal team passed all those at that point.
When did the legal team decide that you should not appear for this kind of hearing?
Yesterday, I received those documents from them saying yesterday.
So yesterday, you answer my question. You answer my question. You answer my question. You answer my question.
At 9 o'clock yesterday.
9 o'clock what?
PM.
You mean Central Time or Eastern Time?
Central Time.
9 o'clock when you were making closing statement, when you were witness 9 o'clock.
When we received those documents from our legal team pointing out the mistakes and the violation in the Election Commission guideline. That's why you don't want me to end.
Thank you. Okay, so yesterday you received legal advice that you cannot participate in this process.
At that time, my team. At that time,
no, I understand. You don't have to go there.
I understand that. Yeah.
No, I understand already.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to repeat what you said. Yesterday at 9 p.m. Central Time, when we were almost done, when you already made comments and everything, that's when you received the document or after you made a comment. But I'm not going there. But the question I want to ask you is, it said in part of your legal advice, your legal team, did they advise you that because these guidelines are incorporating this section that is illegal, therefore you cannot abide by what the commission says? Is that part of your legal advice?
No, they were very specific. They said because the commissioner did not write you to say, look, come for the interview. The commissioner said,
no, hold on right there.
Yeah.
That means the letter that the commission wrote you and outlining everything that you're supposed to come today to address yourself to. Did you give that letter to your legal team?
Yes.
So how can your legal team come back to tell you that we didn't tell you that you were going to come here for this today, when you already have the letter that spelled out that?
They said that look, you're going for the hearing for one specific reason. I will not come here to come and for Jason Jarrett to ask me a question. For anybody to ask me a question. One, the basic of this particular program was wrong in the first place.
No. I didn't understand some part of it. You were not coming here today.
Mr. Gerald.
Yeah.
Let us not bore the people that are listening to us.
Yeah, because working in the morning is
I'll soon be done. This is a public engagement. And what he's saying, what I'm saying, what everybody is saying, there are wise people out there to judge. So by the time we're done with this, we will make the decisions in the future in his favor or in different favor. But we want the people to understand that this ingenuousness and untruthfulness has to be stopped. We wrote you, Mr. Gilman.
And we're not actually about that.
We wrote you, Mr. Gilman. We spelled out everything that was going to be happening, that you're going to come for hearing. Then we wrote you a follow-up letter giving you the schedule for the hearing. We wrote you another letter giving you another schedule for the hearing. All of those letters and your lawyers come back and say, we didn't tell you that.
No, I did not say that. You see, if you keep interrupting
What
me.
did you say? What did you say?
Okay, now, you wrote those letters. It's true. You sent those guidelines. It's true. Here's what we did. When my team received those guidelines, we sent it out for legal mind with the Constitution to study it. They came back and said, look, the Election Commission did not say you go in there to have an interview. There's a gentleman. They did not file a protest. There's a gentleman by the name of Othello Brown filed a protest on one count that you never have or have an administrative position. So now, for the basis of that particular case by Othello Brown, he had no right to file that protest because Othello Brown is not an aspirant. Because your constitution said only an aspirant
hold it right there.
Protest.
Hold it right there. What part of the Constitution that you keep preaching that says an aspirant should file protest against another aspirant?
Let's go back to Article 8, Section 5F. They said challenge to the conduct and result of election shall be made.
Stop there. My question is.
No, we can't do that because no. I gotta read the whole thing and you can't.
Listen,
no.
My brother.
I'm smarter than
My
that.
brother.
Yeah.
When you answer a question that I want, that's what I want.
No, but nobody can. Nobody can comprehend.
My brother. I asked a question.
Let me read
I asked a question. You read something. That's
no, but I did not know. I read half. Listen, you cannot. Nobody can comprehend half sentence. Don't do that to our brothers and sisters.
Okay, go ahead and read the whole sentence. Go ahead and read the whole sentence.
Thank you. They said Article 8, Section 5, and they said challenge to the conduct and result of election shall be made no later than 24 hours after the announcement of the election result. That's after the election. However, the intention to file a protest must be made known to the Election Commission immediately upon the announcement of the election result. There is nowhere in the Constitution said before.
Hold on. The question I asked you, what you answering? I'm asking the question whether there is anything in the Constitution that says an aspirant should file a complaint against another aspirant. What you read says you can file a protest against the process. Does that look like filing complaint against an aspirant? What you read just now is very clear that you can file a complaint against the process. It didn't say an aspirant. You said on this investigation tonight that it should be an aspirant that should file a complaint against another aspirant. Is that in the Constitution?
Maybe I misspoke, but it said after the election.
I understand you to say.
And none of y'all can point to where
So,
they say.
after election, you say aspirant should file complaint against aspirant?
I understand you to say you didn't mean to say that aspirant should file complaint against aspirant. That was a misstatement, correct?
If it did, I don't know, but I didn't end up.
But you did say that. Does that mean it's a misstatement or it's a correct statement?
No, I just said I misspoke. I don't know.
Thank you very much for misspeaking. All right, Mr. Gilman, thank you. Madam Chair, do you have any question?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Mr. Gilman, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, ma'am. How you doing?
I'm okay. Besides what you have been accused of the protest, do you have anything on the guideline that we posted there that you are decided that you want to express dissatisfaction on?
Yes, I mean there are a lot of things we go back, but like I said from my intro, that I mean everything you guys are doing, is great for our community. Is very important. And some people will look at it it's wrong. It gives us in Grand Gideon the opportunity to have this kind of conversation about our community and what is wrong and what needs to be right or changed. And one of those things is our constitution. And this will empower us to go back and say,
Mr. Gilman, the commissioner asked a specific question. Is there any other thing besides this protest that you have problem with? Yes or no?
No.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Gilman, will you please allow me to ask 2 questions apart from the protest issue?
Is that got to do with my personal life or what?
No.
If it got to do with my personal life, no, yeah. If it got to do with my personal life, I will accept it. But if it got to do with the Grand Jury Association, then it means that I will be violating the same law that I'm myself coaching, because we're not supposed to be here. According to Othello, who filed a protest, that it's not him. Othello cannot find anywhere here in the Constitution that said once you file a protest before an election.
Mr. Gilman, besides the protest issue that is stated into the communication from your commissioners to you,
yeah,
the guidelines we got posted over there. Can I ask you a question from our guidelines?
No. I would suggest if you write me an official letter, I don't mind coming back to answer any question from any of you guys.
Are you saying no?
Like I said again, the letter that was sent to me, it was because of this protest filed by my brother Othello Brown. So if the commissioner can write me an official letter to come back to answer any question, I will abide by it. I will respect it and come back.
Mr. Gilman.
Yeah.
Are you prepared time for debate to answer questions from commissioners?
100%.
Okay. Brother Presiding, I rest my question.
Okay. Is there anything, Commissioner Uriah son, is there anything you want to say you never said before?
Yeah, you know, Mr. Gamer, I would say yes, but I mean, Mr. Jerry, I would say yes. I will crown people say, despite the fact you see snail, you still look for snake to point at A and say that snail. So that's what I'm going to do tonight. Instead of making statement, I have one question to ask Mr. Gaiman. Mr. Gaiman, as you rightly said, there are some irregularities within the guidelines. So for this reason, your legal attorney advised not for you to come to answer any question relating to this thing. My question I want to ask you tonight, as you refuse to answer any question from any of us, will you feel pleased tomorrow when the election commissioner qualify you to run or to contest this process?
Okay, thank you very much.
At the same time, there are irregularities of the election guidelines. Will you feel okay without the election commission resolving those issues for you prior to contesting?
Okay, thank you very much. The election commissioner did not invite me, Octavious Gilman, to come and answer questions from the election commission.
That's not why he asked you, sir. That's not why he asked you.
The question I ask you is not about answering this question. I say with the irregularities you point to on the election guideline, if they remain unresolved and the election commissioner certify you to run your campaign, certify you that you can contest this process, will you feel certified about that?
I reserve my comment for this moment on this issue.
Okay, Mr. Jerry, I have a statement to make.
Yeah, go ahead. No, you wait first. Let the let the party litigants finish, then we'll make our statement.
Okay.
Okay, we start with, we started with Othello first, so we'll start with you this time for your final comments, Mr. Gilman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jaru.
I will give you 2 minutes every because you are aspirant. Otherwise, the commissions will have 1 minute each, and I'm going to take the minutes. I'm setting it now. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jaru. I want to say, it was a beautiful discussion, and I want to say thanks to the Election Commission. I want all Granadians to understand that regardless of how you feel about me, about Othello, about Mr. Jaru, Mr. So, and Mr. Bed, this is healthy for our community. Our brother, Mr. Brown, did us a favor to go back and look at our Constitution. As a young man in this country, I cannot sit back and not play a role in the development of my community. I want to sit back when I'm in my wheelchair to explain to my children that I tried, and knowing where I came from the poorest family in Grand Judah County, Mambly, William Lee. And we are not enemies. We are all brothers and sisters. I urge all my supporters that are waiting to back off from this election if any one of us were denied. People who are involved in the cooking process for this convention, I ask you guys in the morning and around the country to respect the law and constitution of our community and of our organization. You will hear from me as soon as possible. I ask you, be respectful to every one of them and be respectful to our brother, Oti. We are all one people and we are all Granadian. For the sake of peace, we need each other to bring our community back together. I want to say thank you and say thanks to my team, my legal team, and my family. God bless you.
Mr. Brown, you have 2 minutes. You are muted, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gilman, and thank you, Mr. Jerry. Thank you, the commissioner. This is a fine thing to do in the community. This is not about witch hunting. I will tell Brown and Ning going all around trying to bring divisiveness in the community. No, I want us to do the right thing and let the right thing be done. This is not about divisiveness. You election commissioner, your will and pleasure know what to do. We just say this thing and you'll be proven, and then you guys will do what you can do. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Grand community. Let us do all we can to get the community together. And let us do all we can that when our people representative, when they leave from here, they go Europe, they go Africa, when they are speaking, people understand that yes, they people they really ready. But when we are corrupt here, we want to put more on job, we are government, it will not go down well with other people because we ourselves we are corrupt. So let's stop all of this thing and let's do the right thing. Thank you. I'm off.
Thank you very much. Mr. Son, you want to go? You say you have statements.
I just want to speak to the Granadian public tonight that are listening to us. Again, we want to reiterate this, that the election commission has our own way of running our jurisdiction, especially me, who is researching all the candidates. I'm in the process of writing a report on everybody as aspirants in the race. We want to say thank you for all of you that left your busy schedules to come and listen to the hearing tonight. If we have time again in the future for us to invite another person we think we need to hear from as election commissioner, we will do that. But tonight we actually embrace all of you and want to say thank you to Aspirant Gilman and Protector Brown for everything that they have done for our community. You know, in order for us to have a better community, these are things we need to do. This is not about somebody witch hunting another person. And I don't think tonight what we saw here it is in any form of disrespecting the election commissioner or any other body. It is the way that each and every one of us feel we can respond to things. So Nigerians, thank you for opening your eyes to see and having your ears to hear what happens tonight. I thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, guys. Let me just say this before we leave here with misinformation. This process is not targeting anyone, and I read some of your comments that we are targeting Mr. Gilman. Nobody is targeting Mr. Gilman. There are 9 people that were protested against. We have already gone through, I think 6 or 5 of them, 4 of them, and tomorrow we are unfortunate we cannot host Mr. Yima, Brooke Yima, and Helen and others tonight. So we will schedule them for tomorrow, and it's not going to be video live. But on Friday, Mr. James Shibote will be here live, and it will be live in Granger on radio station as it was tonight. So Mr. James Shibote will be here to face Mr. Othello Brown about the allegation of being constitutionally disqualified to run. So if the sitting president can be called here to participate in the process, anyone who thinks that Mr. Gilman is being targeted, it means you lack the common sense. Nobody will say that Mr. Gilman is targeted. First of all, he was not the first we started with, and he's not going to be the last we're going to start with. So some of your comments you are writing, it's very irresponsible for you to say that we are targeting Mr. Gilman. Now, having said that, all of this process, it helps us to understand the people that we are going to be certificating. There's a hearing, is additional information that we are getting. We already have the applications, the letter of intent. We have documents that were submitted to us. That we have other instruments of that we can use, that we can make a determination. Tonight cannot decide whether Mr. Gilman will be denied or will be accepted. It has no bearing. It just gives us additional information. So tomorrow, if we make a decision in favor of Mr. Gilman, they say, oh, they were afraid of Mr. Gilman. We made a decision against Mr. Gilman. Oh, they were targeting Mr. Gilman. That we will not be afraid of people who stay on the side and make a lot of noise. So please, tomorrow it's going to be an audio, but it's going to be public, but audio like the first one. But it's not going to be live on TV. And we're going to be able to accommodate Mr. Brooks Yuma and others. That will be tomorrow. We have apologized that we couldn't host you because of the filibustering that started from the beginning. Mr. Jimmy Butti, like I said, will be on Friday, 7 o'clock. And he is the only person. We have 2 hours or so for us to go there, or 1 hour, 30 minutes to 2 hours. Tonight we spend 2 hours and 45 minutes on this hearing. So thank you very much. And Mr. Gilman, thank you for coming. Mr. Brown, thank you for coming. Mr. Gilman, I'll tell you right now, anytime you are arguing about the Constitution, you should remember that the Constitution has a general voice. It does not go to specifics. The Constitution will say, let everybody get married, but it will not tell you how the people should get married. It says you should be a citizen. It will not tell you how you should be a citizen. There are statutes, rules, regulations that define constitutional laws. And Mr. Brown here knows that. We did constitutional law. They will teach you in constitutional law. They will teach you criminal law. They will teach you civil law, civil procedure. So he knows that. So the Constitution may not be able to give you all the details. So that's why when you argue about the Constitution, sometimes you have to take a step back. So I want to end here that when Mr. Brown raised the issue of the election protest, he made a very fine point. You could have picked up on this. He said all election protests shall be filed with the Election Commission. So all, it didn't say some at the end, or it didn't say some at the beginning, or it didn't say some in the middle. All. So anytime an election is filed, and they didn't say who should file it, it didn't say what time it should be filed. The Constitution is very clear on that. So I want you to go back and read it, and in the future, maybe you will have an opportunity to debate the Constitution again. Madam Chair, you have something to say?
Well, I just want to tell the public from one or two texts coming to me, uh, coming to my inbox. Mr. Othello Brown is not a spokesman for us, and he's not even the whistleblower for us. I think I told one or two person, I think the hearing yesterday rather, we started our pre-qualifications or aspiring before even the protest could come in. So we are now like in line with that of what he's saying, but in as much any of those aspirants were accused, whether they are falsely accused or not, we just have to put in for hearing. It is our job to do so. And get me right, I got friends, I got sisters, nieces, nephews in there trying to hold opposition, but I have not wanted to talk to them on that. So we want you to clearly see within what we are doing. And people what know me will attest to that. I don't really buy and blow. I do things very broadly, boldly for people to see into whatever we are doing. And Mr. Gilman, it was nice talking with you tonight. For all of what you have expressed, nobody can ever deny you of your opinion or of your opportunity of whatever you want to express. So I mean, nobody is against that from what I see from the interaction. It is a point that you make that I mean, that's how you feel. And Mr. Brown, thank you for appearing and not coming late tonight, like yesterday. Yeah, because you got us sitting there, and then we just waited for people, for someone who accused people to come. So I mean, it was nice talking with you guys. We hope to treat with others tomorrow, and feel free anytime to talk to us. We stand by to answer your questions, to give our experience based on what we know about. And again, I said that from the beginning, Grenadians are peaceful people. We don't like disadvantage. We don't like to be overlooked. And we are straight to the point. We can go in for you when you define yourself to us. If not, we deny you at the dying minute of the time. So being in this place and having GGAA administration here is all about bringing ourselves on a war umbrella to see how best we can see Grenadians at the top. We are just one group of people. Our common factor here is the common denominator is Grenadian. Again, let us be together. Let us do things peacefully. When you see me talking softly and tenderly like this, that's how mothers talk, that's how leaders talk, and that's how I think it's supposed to be. Nobody get anything against you, the both of you, and we look forward to see. I guess we got today is the 15th. We got pretty close to 2, 3 more hours for any protest, any pending protest that people get. We will still honor that. A minute after 12 will not be honored. Again, it was nice talking with you. Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you very much, madam, for saying that. And thank you guys, and we want to say thanks to Tap FM for carrying this live. We will meet here tomorrow in closed but public section, and Friday on the same platform with Mr. James Chibote, current president and aspirant for president. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Bye for now.
Okay, Madam Chair.
Yep.
I think you are myself here now, but let me close the live.